Start with a flea flicker to open up the night. And he connects with Galladay.
Sup, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Flea Flicker with Joey D and Timmy B. We got our guest today, but Joe, he's your friend, so I'll lead you to the introductions.
Oh yeah, well, this guy is a man of the people, a friend to everybody, and a man, a myth, and a legend. He is the James Taylor, hailing from the wonderful state of New York, but also living all over the place between growing up with me in Maryland, living together in South Carolina, now living in Texas. And, you know, he is a Giants fan, and he is ready to talk about Thursday. So, James, say what's up to the people.
Yes, sir. Well, gentlemen, thank you both for having me on. I've been watching the last couple of weeks. I really love what y'all are doing, and think that you guys are kind of blowing up and gaining some traction here. So I appreciate you having me on.
Of course,
Absolutely, and we're happy to have you. If you want to be like James, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your picks. But let's hop right into Thursday Night Football. James, to my knowledge, you are a Giants fan. Joe, you are an Eagles fan. Eagles squeaked this away 22-21. This game was, kind of boring, but it picked up in the second half. Daniel Jones fell down on a long run. Eagles came back again in the fourth quarter to win the game. James, you've said 23-21 Giants in your prediction that you texted me. So you almost got the score right. But we'll kick it off to you first. I know you guys could talk for hours and hours about this game, but we'll keep it quick. We got a whole Sunday to pick and Monday. So we'll kick it off to you. You lost. So what were your thoughts from the game? And, just give us your overall feeling.
One name stands out amongst most for this loss specifically. Evan Ingram. I was talking to Joe about Evan before the game. I'm not a huge Evan Ingram fan. He is extremely soft. He is an unwilling blocker. And the thing that he's supposed to do for us is stretch the field. And not only in the first half when he's running a slant route, lets the ball bounce right off his hands and turns into an interception, which then leads to points. But then late in the game, which I had actually, it's funny, I had mentioned to Joe that he has not yet had a game-winning, defining moment. Well, sure enough, it comes in the day we're talking about it, he has that chance. And again, the ball goes off his hands. His hands are not as soft as his blocking is. That's for damn sure. So it's, everyone wants to talk about the Daniel Jones run. And yes, listen, the dude got up there, to 21.23 miles per hour. That's about a half a mile an hour slower than Cheetah has been this year at his top speed. So Danny Dimes got some wheels as well. He's got to limit the turnovers. The team is fighting. They're competing. We just don't know how to win yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you nailed it, Evan Ingram. And, Daniel Jones did fall down, but they did score a touchdown. Now, it did shave off an extra minute and a half. The Eagles did have a penalty, so they probably could have used that minute and a half had he scored toward the end. But, Joe, then we'll kick it off to you. Your Eagles won, so obviously it might not be as passionate as James Taylor, but the Eagles still need a lot of work to do. So give us your thoughts from the game and, what are you taking away from this as an Eagles fan?
Yeah, I mean, starting out that first opening drive, it was just a thing of beauty. It was just called very well. A lot of tempo. Wentz was in his element. We got Hurts on the field in the first drive after some first downs, which is what I wanted to see to make sure we got in the end zone. He didn't really have that much of an impact on that drive or on the game, but I did like the play calling and the tempo on that drive. But then, we just got away from the tempo. The offense just kept getting out of rhythm. Jordan Mailata had his worst game as a starter. Suo Opeta starting at left guard for the first time also got worked a lot. Just another different offensive line combination. Wentz was running for his life a lot of it. And, I mean, that first interception was just inexcusable. It was just absolutely terrible. You got to throw the ball away there. He's just trying to do too much hero ball. And, I mean, that's really who Wentz is. He lives or dies by those kind of plays. There was a penalty right before that. He wanted to get all the yardage back, and he lost. At the very end of the game, we had gotten down to, the 2-yard line. Jason Kelce commits the face mask, 15-yard penalty. We're back to, our 18. And, he goes all in trying to get it all back on one play, and it worked. He hit Boston Scott for a dime for a game-winning touchdown. So that's who Wentz is. You're getting that, he's a playmaker, that variability. He's not going to be as consistent, as accurate as you'd like to see, but he does give you those big play threats, and he's not going to give up on the play as we see. He takes too many sacks, holds on to the ball too long. But, a lot of good things to see from this game. As a Giants fan, I would be optimistic about Joe Judge and his coaching staff. I really like seeing what Patrick Graham has done with a, not very talented defense, but they definitely seem to be overachieving. Marcus Golden always seems to give us headaches, whether it's Jason Peters, Lane Johnson, or now Jordan Mailata. But I guess he just got traded to the Cardinals. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So wonderful, because we still have to play the Cardinals, so we get to play him again. So that's great. He's going to work someone again. But it was a good game. Definitely very exciting. Got to do better in the red zone. We gave up a lot of opportunities to, really win by a lot more. We got to clean that up if we're going to be successful, but it's not looking great for the NFC East.
No, it's not. But yeah, my big takeaway from this was I like the Giants. I like what they're doing. Gettleman might need to go, but I love Joe Judge. I love his coaching staff, and they're in the position to win some games, especially still in the NFC East. Eagles defensively got to work on it a little bit. Last week they gave up a touchdown run to Lamar Jackson untouched. This week the Daniel Jones run was untouched. So they do need to work on that, especially when they do play some more mobile quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, Joe, like you said, when you guys play the Cardinals later this season. And, you guys both nailed it. Turnovers, red zone efficiency. Those are some little things to tweak on, but very excited to see the Eagles and Giants again, especially on a full week of rest in their next matchup in a couple of weeks. But you guys ready to pick some football games on Sunday and Monday?
Absolutely. Got a great sleep this week.
Perfect. So the first game we're going to be talking about, the Battle of Ohio, week 2 Thursday night football, where the Browns came out victorious. Browns at the Bengals now. The Browns are a 3.5-point road favorite. The over-under is 51. We'll kick it off to our guest first. James, what are your thoughts from this game and who you got?
I'm locking in the Browns here. And for the bettors out there, I definitely like them at the 3.5. I would honestly give up, up to a touchdown. I do think the Browns are going to bounce back. I don't like the Bengals D-line, and I think the Browns are going to pound the rock, get back to what they were doing when they were scoring 30 points a game for about 4 straight weeks there when they were on their winning streak. I think they get back to that. I do think Joey Burrow, he gives the Browns defense a little bit of trouble, but I see this game as like a 34-24 score.
Awesome. Joe, your thoughts and who you got?
Yeah, the big issue with the Bengals still is just their terrible offensive line. Mm-hmm. And, you're going up against a really good D-line for the Browns with Myles Garrett and Olivier Vernon also having a good year. And then they also aren't going to have Joe Mixon for this game. Probably not for the next 2 weeks. He'll probably come back after their bye. But, not having Joe Mixon in there, that, hurts you in a lot of different ways between the pass protection and, just the threat to, take it to the house pretty much any play, in the run game. Gio Bernard is not going to be able to, put up that same level of production. So I think the Browns are just going to be able to key in on Joe Burrow and really mess with that offensive line. I'm taking the Browns also by touchdown probably.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. And, Joe, you just nailed it. Without Joe Mixon, I think the Bengals become one-dimensional. Gio Bernard's going to do a great job. He's still going to get touches. He's still going to get good looks. But now you're relying on Joe Burrow to just win with his arm. We saw on Thursday Night Football when they played 61 pass attempts. I know interceptions, that's great, but the Browns can really tackle in on just stopping the pass, beefing up their secondary, not rushing, 5+ guys. And I think the Browns are going to win. I'm with you guys. I like Browns 3.5 as well. I do think the Bengals will score, so I think this could be an over. Like you said, James, a 34-24 that would hit the over. So we're all going with the Browns. Next up, Joe, and I alluded to this in our recap a couple of weeks ago, we finally get the Lions and the Falcons. The Lions are, known for going up a couple of touchdowns early on, blowing it by halftime. The Falcons are good at going up by a couple of touchdowns and then blowing it in the fourth quarter. So it's kind of a unstoppable force meets an immovable object in this game. So, Joe, we'll kick it off to you first. What do you think and what do you see from Lions, Falcons, and who's your pick?
Yeah, this is definitely a tough one because, neither of these teams really want to win a game, it seems like. You know, with the Falcons, they seem like they're starting to get it together on the offensive side a little bit more. I mean, they got Julio Jones involved last week, Ridley, Hayden Hurst. You know, they're really spreading the ball around. I mean, the Lions also, you know, have been getting the ball to Kenny Golladay and DeAndre Swift more. So I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to go with the Falcons in this game. I just think that, you know, they're playing a little bit harder right now, you know, without Dan Quinn there anymore, you know, the new wrinkles. I think it's going to give the Lions defense a little bit of a challenge. I mean, you know, they have 3 very good receivers on the offense. The Lions just really have Jeffrey Okudah in the secondary. So I just think the Falcons are going to be able to end up scoring more points.
Yeah, absolutely. And I forgot to mention the Falcons are a 1-point home favorite, and the over-under is at 55. I'm with you, Joe. I like the Falcons as well, and I know I don't think the Lions are very good, but I think that, you know, without Dan Quinn, the offense is clicking a little bit more. This is definitely going to be a high-scoring game. So I'm going with the Falcons as well. James, what about yourself?
So just on my little sheet here, I had it as a pick'em game. I think with the account of Julio and Ridley both being a bit banged up, they were both questionable, but both will play. You're all on the Falcons. I'm riding with Matty P and Detroit, baby. All right, the Detroit Lions have been playing some better football. They are taking a look at their schedule. Their next 6 to 7 games are all possible winnable games, and it starts right here in Atlanta. I think they end up dubbing the Falcons, holding on to a 14-point lead for the first time, and it seems like their damn existence. But who knows, you know? The Calvin Johnson curse, the Barry Sanders curse. Detroit doesn't like paying their former superstars. It all could come back to bite me. But I got Detroit this week by 7.
Yeah,
I think Matty Stafford has more in the tank than Matt Ryan's right now.
I just think that the Lions are a 5-11 football team. Joe thinks they're average. I can see this game going either way. I'm just riding with the Falcons. But, James, I'm not sure if you're aware, all of our guests have gone 9-5. So we do have a 9-5 curse on this show. So we'll see if you can do it with the Lions and Falcons. But now we're staying in the NFC East. We got the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are still a 7-point favorite without Michael Thomas, without Emmanuel Sanders. The over-under is still 50. James, we'll kick it off with you. What are your thoughts from this game and who you got?
This is one of my locks of the week, and it might surprise you. I am riding strong with Carolina here. I think they have a solid football team. They have a solid defense all throughout. I think Matt Rule's got those guys playing hard. And unlike the Giants, they've been competing, but they've also been winning. They have an experienced Pro Bowl quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater who loves to move the chains. They like to control the ball. Mike Davis has been a fantastic step in for CMC while he's been gone. So especially with the points, I still had the Saints winning a close game. But with the point spread, I'm hammering down on the Panthers. I got Saints 27-24.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I have the Saints winning this game as well. I love Panthers +7, but straight up, we're riding with the Saints on this one. I think this is going to be, especially without Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, this could be that one Taysom Hill game where he just has 150 total yards and like 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, I think, especially under Drew Brees and Sean Payton, the Saints are very good coming off a bye. They're coming off a bye. They're staying home. But I agree with you, James. That defense is going to be ready to play for Carolina. I love Carolina +7, but Saints are going to win this football game. Joey D, what about yourself?
Yeah, I really think that they're going to make, a concentrated effort to get Alvin Kamara the ball even more than they have. I mean, they're definitely going to have some packages to Taysom Hill. Hopefully it's, Taysom Hill to Alvin Kamara on a Philly special, something like that. I don't know. I have Kamara in my fantasy, so I would love it. But, yeah, I mean, I really think that, like you said, with the Saints coming off the bye, Sean Payton just has those guys prepared and they're at home. Yeah, I think the Saints are going to be able to take it home this week. But I do love what Carolina's doing. I think it's going to be a close game. I mean, they came out flat last week and they lost by I think only one score, a touchdown. That was against the Falcons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I like what I like what Carolina's doing, but they're just not there yet, and I think that the Saints are going to be able to win this in a close one.
Yeah. The Panthers lost to the Bears last week, but since Christian McCaffrey has gone down in the games they're
Oh,
winning,
that's
and
right.
even
So,
last week, it's still within a touchdown. And I saw, +7, and then I saw Thomas and Sanders out, and I was like, all right, this has got to change. And I checked this morning, it was like, nope, still 7. I'm like, what? So let's ride Panthers +7, but we all got the Saints winning. Now we got 2 stinkers in the 1 o'clock hour. We're going to go to first New York. The Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. The Bills are a 10.5-point favorite. The over/under is at 46. We'll keep this quick. I got the Bills in this game. I don't know if there's anything else to really say. 10.5, maybe. They played close in week 1, but the Bills are winning this game. James, what are your thoughts from this game?
Take the Bills, take the points. The Jets are the worst football team. I've watched the 0-16 Browns. I saw the 0-16 Dolphins. This team looks far more inept than they are. The only reason they've kept Adam Gase around is because they want Trevor Lawrence, even though Sam Darnold could be a good quarterback, and if he gets traded to the right situation, he will be a good quarterback. Watch for him to go to Indianapolis or Pittsburgh. Take the Bills. They're pissed off. They've faced a gauntlet of teams the last couple weeks. Tough matchups in prime time. Their schedule was all messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Take the Bills, lock them in.
Joey D, are you going with the Jets?
No, I'm not going with Joe Flacco's elite arm and the Jets, unfortunately. As much as, I would love to have Joe Flacco ball out, and, I know you would love to see that, Tim. It's just not going to happen. I mean,
no. Mm-mm.
God, the Jets are so bad. Yeah, the Bills by at least 10.
Love it. So we're on the Bills, sure. And now we're moving to probably your 2 favorite teams, the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington football team. Right now I got it as a pick 'em. The over-under is 45, but you guys are NFC East guys. James, we'll kick it off to you first. What are your thoughts on the Cowboys football team, and, who are you picking to win this game?
So both of these teams are so bad, I would stay away from actually picking I'm going to roll with the Washington football team in this. Dallas has so much dysfunction in that locker room right now. Whenever you get to the point where players are coming out as anonymous sources, you've reached a point where you're not working it out internally, And so whenever players feel like they have to go to the media, whatever even they're saying, there's more stuff underneath, and there's more players that feel that way as well. So there's just too much dysfunction there. Ron Rivera, I like him as the captain of the Washington football team. Again, a team that's been competing. But I would hammer the over on this game. Just that Dallas defense. Kyle Allen might look like the second coming of Tom Brady this weekend. That Cowboys defense is historically bad, and the Washington football team's defense has not been as good as advertised. Even with that front seven, on paper should be pretty dominant, and they haven't really been. So I do think Dallas's run game is going to be able to get going. I do think there are points scored in this game. I have it as a 31-28 Washington victory.
Joey D, your thoughts on who you got in Cowboys football team?
Yeah, I'm right there with the coach, James Taylor. The football team is definitely gonna get this dub. I really think that their D-line is going to take over this game. The Cowboys' offensive line is even more banged up. They're down to, I want to say, their third string left tackle now. Is Zach Martin playing? I'm not sure if he,
I don't think so. I think he's ruled out.
He is either. Yeah, so, their offensive line, between the lack of talent and the lack of cohesion, playing together and having that chemistry, I think it's going to be very similar to what we saw week 1 against the Eagles, where that D-line's able to take over and Andy Dalton's not going to be able to make the plays. He's not an athlete. You can't escape from Chase Young or Montez Sweat in the backfield. So I don't see this offense getting going. Maybe Zeke bounces back and, can do something in the run game. But, he's going to have to create a lot of his own yards and make a lot of plays on his own. I just don't think that the Cowboys are well equipped to overcome this type of adversity. And like James said, if it's getting out with 1 or 2 people, there's a lot more internal discussions and internal unrest. Cowboys are not going to do well this game, and it's gonna blow up again. We're probably going to hear even more comments this week, and I can't wait. I love it.
I'm going to go against you guys. I'm going to go with the Cowboys in this game. I trust Andy Dalton to run this offense now that he has another week under his belt practicing. I think he does have the weapons, and it's not primetime Andy Dalton. And we said it, Joe, in a recap. It's no primetime Kirk Cousins, but primetime Andy Dalton's still not good. 1:00 game on the road to the awful FedEx Field. I like the Cowboys in this game. It's going to be a close one. You guys both know, 31-28, 25-20, 24-21. It's going to be a close game. I do see the Cowboys coming out as the winners in this one. I think with all the internal drama, we'll say, I think that's really, kind of the kick in the butt to kind of be like, all right, we got to turn up the gears. Like, we're actually got to do this now. We got to come out strong. So I'm riding with the Cowboys, and now we're done with, some bad matchups in the 1:00 slate. Now we got Mike McCarthy's former team, the Green Bay Packers, going on the road to the Houston Texans. Packers are a 4.5-point road favorite. The over-under's large, obviously. It's 57.5. Joey D, we'll kick it off to you. Packers, Texans, what are your thoughts on who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers in this game. I think they're going to come out angry, just getting embarrassed last week against the Buccaneers. That was a statement game for both of them, and they made the wrong statement. So if they were to lose this week against Houston, who has one win right now, so yeah, it would be terrible for the Packers. I don't see Aaron Rodgers letting that happen. This Texans defense has not been good at all this year. I think Rodgers is going to carve them up, and I think that defense is going to be able to, the two Smiths, Preston Smith and Darius Smith, I think they're going to be able to make some plays, put the pressure on Deshaun Watson, and Jair Alexander is going to shut down whoever he's covering, whether it's Brandon Cooks or Will Fuller. So it's going to have to be the other guys stepping up in order to make those plays, and I don't see that happening. I don't see David Johnson really having a good game, although that is a possibility since the Packers' run defense isn't the best, and I think that's what could keep them in it if David Johnson and Deshaun Watson are able to move the ball on the ground well. But like I said, I don't see Aaron Rodgers and the Packers losing this game after losing bad to Tampa Bay and Tom Brady last week.
Absolutely. And James, your thoughts on this game and who you got?
Yeah, so I see this as the game of two halves. I see the Packers coming out, out the gate strong, kind of almost like what Houston did to Kansas City in the first half of last year's playoff game. 24-0 start, something along those lines. Deshaun Watson will score a touchdown before half, make it, a little bit competitive. Packers score out the gate, coming out the second half to extend the lead, and then the second half they coast. And Deshaun Watson is able to pick up lots of yards, lots of points. I do, even though the points are high, if the over is high, I do like the over in this game. I'm worried about taking the Packers with the points. I really am. That defense scares me. Joe alluded to their pass rush, yes, but Deshaun, their secondary is vulnerable at times, and they've showed they could get beat deep. And Deshaun Watson has a gun. He's got his weapons. I'm going to go with the Packers. And I'm going to go with the Packers by 4. But I think it's right around that. I'll go 35-30.
Yeah, I don't bet unders. Every time I do, it always loses. Life's too short to bet the under. I love the over in this game. I think it's going to be a bunch of points. As for the winner, I think, James, I think the Packers are going to go up early and often, and they're going to coast in the second half. The Houston Texans' run defense is bad. For the Packers to be, a contending team, a title contender, Super Bowl contender, they got to be two-dimensional on offense. They got to get the run game going. Aaron Jones, we all know how good he is, but there are games where, he'll touch the ball 10 times, and then there's games where he'll touch it 25 times and, have hundreds of yards and a couple of touchdowns. So this is a perfect matchup for them to get the run game going. I think Aaron Rodgers will do what he can do in the passing game to score some points early. Then they're going to dominate the clock in the second half coast. And then on the flip side, Deshaun Watson is great with a hurry-up offense, and I think when you're down so many points, I like the over in this game. I like the Packers. Still indecisive about that 4.5 line, but we're going to go with the Packers for winning this football game. And now we're moving to probably game of the day, at least game of the 1 o'clocks. The undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the Tennessee Titans, who are also undefeated. This game was supposed to happen a couple of weeks ago, but with all the pandemic happening right now. We'll just leave it at that. This game got moved to this week, gave the Ravens a much needed bye. Yannick Ngakoue, what's up, buddy? But I have a pick 'em on both these games. James Taylor, who you got? What are your thoughts from the Steelers, Titans? Are these for real undefeated teams, or what are we going to find out from this game?
So I do think we're going to find out that they're both for real teams. They both have – this is 1970s smash mouth football. This is strength versus strength. Let's meet in the middle and see who wins this matchup. It is Derrick Henry, a linebacker that is the size of Devin Bush, but faster against that defensive line in front seven. It is a fantastic matchup. This is the game I've been waiting for. I was looking forward to it a couple of weeks ago, and all these teams have done since is win. And so now we have a matchup of undefeateds this late into the season. I'm rolling with Tennessee, and I'm rolling with Tennessee because of one man, Ryan Tannehill. This dude, when you look at how he's played and his numbers in the last 16 games, a full season since he's taken over for Mariota, he has been an Aaron Rodgers Pro Bowl level quarterback, both when you look at statistically and you look at, the vision test, when you see him play on the field. I do think Pittsburgh's run defense is going to hold up against Derrick Henry. And that's why I think Ryan Tannehill is going to make more plays for his team in the passing game than Ben Roethlisberger this week, even though he's got Mapletron up there, which, as a fellow Canadian, I got to love. So I got this as a very close game. It really could go either way. I think Ryan Tannehill makes enough plays late where he gets the job done. They kick a field goal to win the game. I'm going to go old school slugfest. Again, close to the I'm going to go with the Giants-Eagles score. I'm going to go with like a 22-21 game. A field goal's going to win this either way.
Love to hear that. Joey D, thoughts on who you got?
Yeah, this is going to be such a good game. I'm really excited for this matchup. I mean, like James said, it's the number one offense against the number one defense right now. It's tough because because I agree, I don't think Derrick Henry is going to have, that great of a game. I think, he'll have under 100 yards, probably a touchdown. And they're going to be asking Ryan Tannehill to do a lot, which I think he has done, a lot of over this 16 games. But I mean, that Steelers defense is really good. And, the Titans defense is not. Like, they have not been good this year. And I just feel like that matchup favors Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers offense a little better than it favors the Titans, even though Ryan Tannehill is playing, like one of the best quarterbacks right now. So I think that it's not necessarily so much about the plays that the Steelers are going to make on offense. It's more the plays the Titans defense isn't going to make, with not letting the pass rush, like there's not going to be pass rushes on certain plays, and Roethlisberger's going to have all day to throw and make those big plays. I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm going to go with the Steelers 20-17.
Whoa. All right. So Steelers, Titans. I don't want to eat my words because the Steelers play the Ravens next week, so I'm going to be very careful with what I'm saying since this will be recorded and posted out for the world. And I've been saying this all season long. Not saying that I'm not a believer in the Steelers, but I don't think that they are as good as their record suggests. They blew out the Browns last week. So did the Ravens. I mean, any competent football team is going to blow out the Browns. So I think the Titans are going to really dominate this game. I think that they're going to show up like they did against the Bills. That defense is going to show up against a high-powered offense. You can make the Steelers offense one-dimensional. All you have to do is stop Ben Roethlisberger in his arm. I don't trust James Conner and Benny Snell in that run game right now. And then offensively, I think James nailed it. It's going to come down to Ryan Tannehill. I think Derrick Henry is going to do just enough. He won't have 200-plus yards like he did last week, but could he get 80 to 100? I mean, the Bills game, he had 17 for 60, and he still got a touchdown. So I think the Titans dominate this game. I don't want to say blowout, and I don't want to, say the Steelers are frauds or whatever, but, because the Ravens play them next week, I don't want to eat my words, but I think the Titans win this game pretty easily. I think we'll figure out that the Titans are a legit contender. Are they a legit undefeated contender? Probably not right now. Their schedule does get a little bit tougher, but they can make a deep run again in the playoffs, and we'll see that the Steelers are still a great football team, but they're not as their record suggests. And Josh, I know you're going to be watching this. Definitely comment your thoughts. I know we'll be texting. We'll be watching the game next week. Maybe we'll have you back on again. But I'm going with the Titans. I think they're winning this game pretty easily. And now we're going to wrap up the 1 o'clock. Well, that wrapped up the 1 o'clock games. Now we're moving to the 4 o'clock games. First one we're going to talk about is the Jacksonville Jaguars going all the way to the West Coast to the Los Angeles Chargers. This will definitely be a fun uniform game. I like both teams' uniforms and color combinations. Chargers are a 9-point home favorite, over under 49.5. Let's kick it off to Joey D first. Joey D, thoughts on who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this game. I mean, Justin Herbert has been lighting it up since he's become the starter. He's just playing with a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and he's getting the ball to, no-name receivers that, aren't it's not Keenan Allen or Mike Williams. It's all these backups, that are winning their matchup, and he's taking the shot and trusting them. It's not like, these guys are getting wide open, like a Keenan Allen would against, one of their best corners. These guys are going up and, he's just trusting them and giving them the shot, and they're making the plays. So I think that offense is going to put up some points this week. I don't think that defense is going to be able to do much to slow them down. And I don't see Gardner Minshew really having that great of a game either, with even with all the injuries that the Chargers are dealing with on their defense. I still think they're going to be able to make him uncomfortable. He's just not going to be able to make as many plays as, he likes. And, I think the Chargers will win this pretty easily.
Yeah, I'll keep mine short. I said the Jaguars are going 1-15, so as long as they have one win, I legally have to pick against them. So I'm going with the Chargers in this game. James, what are your thoughts from this? I mean, Chargers 9-point home favorite. It's the Jaguars. Can they cover? I mean, I assume you're picking them to win, but give us your thoughts on who you got in this game.
Yeah, so I don't like the Chargers to cover. Don't like that 9-point spread at all. I do hammer down the damn over. I mean, because there are going to be points. I don't know what Joe's talking about over here, but Minshew Mania is about to blow up LA, all right? But so is Air Bear, all right? Justin Herbert, the dude that looks like he should be starring in a Disney Channel original film, all right? The dude can sling the rock. He can run people over. That dude can ball. I do got the Chargers winning this game. I think it's going to be around a touchdown, maybe less, if Minshew Mania can kind of get it close at the end there. But I do think there's going to be points in abundance. I got this as like a 34-28 game.
Love that. We all got the Chargers winning the game. Jaguars are going to stay, on pace for 1-15, hopefully. And now we're moving to a very interesting matchup. Potential for some bad weather, potential for some snow. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, 7.5-point road favorite at the Denver Broncos. The over-under is 45. James, man, the Broncos beat the Patriots last week. Can they go back-to-back and beat the Chiefs as well at home?
Absolutely not. There is no way, no chance. Last time Chiefs were on the road, they got smacked around by John Gruden and the Las Vegas Raiders now. So there's, I don't think they have two back-to-back division games on the road where they slip up. I mean, and you're telling me, I don't care what weather there is. Did you not see that man sling the ball around in Buffalo last week when it was raining 40 degrees and wind was coming sideways? You're telling me a game with Patrick Mahomes has an over-under set under 50? You better lock that in with everything you got. Put the damn house on it, all right? Now, Denver can score too because the Chiefs' defense is they have holes. And that's the reason I say they could score this week. I'm not a huge, I'm not I wasn't on the Denver bandwagon at the beginning of the season, but I do think they'll be able to put up points. I got the Chiefs going away with it, 34-17.
Interesting. I disagree. I think the Broncos can't score. especially with this weather. I like their offense. I like what they're working with Locke, Judy, Hamler. I like the pieces that they have in place. I just don't think that they're going to do it against the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs defense is very, I guess, a light switch like we saw against the Ravens, that they turned it on and they dominated, but then we saw turn it off against the Raiders. And so they're very dynamic. I think they're going to turn it on this game. I think they're really going to take advantage. And I think with potential for weather injuries, I do like, Mahomes and the offense, but I think this is going to be a coast game. This is going to be like a get up 21-0. Like, let's run the ball. Let's get Le'Veon Bell involved in the offense. Let's get Edwards-Helaire his touches. So I think that this is going to be a coast game. I'm going with the Chiefs, obviously. I don't want to say a shutout by any means, but I feel like this is going to be like a 21-10, 24-10 type of game. Just get up, get out, injury-free. Let's just win. I'm not going to say bet the under because I don't bet unders, but based on my score prediction, if you do bet unders, maybe bet this one. But Joey D, your thoughts on Chiefs-Broncos?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Vic Fangio is a fantastic coach, and I think he's got those guys playing really well, and he's got them motivated. I mean, between the weather and, the different looks that he's going to present to the Chiefs, I think he's going to be able to get a couple turnovers in this game. Maybe off of some drop passes like when went off Evan Engram's hand, something like that. But I really think that the Broncos are going to be able to, take advantage of some of those and keep it close. Mm-hmm. I do think that, they're also well equipped to run the ball in a bad weather game. I mean, both of these teams have two great running backs in Melvin Gordon, Phillip Lindsay, Le'Veon Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think it's going to be a good game. But I mean, the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, you can't pick against them.
You had me worried there. You were talking up Vic Fangio, which I love as a coach, but you were saying so much. I was like, are you about to pick the Broncos?
No, I'm not going to pick the Broncos. I'm not going to pick against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
You can't.
I love how you said, that they might be able to force a couple turnovers, which, they very well might be able to. And then immediately in my head, that converted to 2 field goals.
Probably,
that's the Broncos.
Yeah, but then I also think the Chiefs are going to force some turnovers as well. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of turnovers in this game with the weather and, just with the different kind of looks that we're going to get. I mean, it's a veteran quarterback against a veteran defense and, a younger quarterback also against, a little bit more of a veteran defense, but one with some more holes. But, it's some interesting matchups. So I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that the Broncos are so injured, especially on defense, because this would have been a fantastic matchup with Von Miller and gang going on. Now we're moving to the game that was originally scheduled for Sunday Night Football in Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Las Vegas Raiders. But now the Raiders added basically their whole starting O-line to the reserved list for this virus. And Jonathan Abram also added to the list, so this could be an ugly game. Actually couldn't find a line on this from my site, so I don't have anything about this game. Maybe James has it, but we'll kick it off to James. Bucks Raiders, I mean, who you got? John Gruden's going up against, his team that he won the Super Bowl with. Tom Brady, now Antonio Brown. So give us your thoughts on who you got in this game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lots of storylines going on here. The fact that the Bucks just picked up AB this week. Yesterday is just kind of adds to it. Tom Brady playing the Raiders, is always a storyline from back, Tuck Rule. John Gruden, playing the Bucks. Lots of storylines here. Unfortunately, I think this is the game that forces us to a Week 18. I don't believe there's a line on this game because I don't believe it gets played this week. I do think they're going to have to reschedule it. Yeah, saying that, I'm not rooting for that. I do think if it is played, I got the Bucks by a decent amount just because of all the guys that would be out for the Las Vegas Raiders. I like where the Raiders are going, though. I see them having a great second half, and I have them making the playoffs this year, but I have a bad feeling that we're not going to get this game this week. Yeah. And that's why it was moved off Sunday night. NBC was like, we're not taking a loss on that one, but, we have the ability to flex anything we want.
Yeah, and thank God there was another game close by. It's a lot easier. I know I was tweeting at Josh. He goes, "Why didn't they move Steelers Titans?" It's a lot easier for TV and radio crews to go from Vegas to Phoenix than it is Vegas to Nashville or somewhere else. So luckily, it's a short drive away, or I don't know the exact time. I never did it before, but it's very quick travel from Vegas to Phoenix for the rescheduled game. But Joey D, we'll kick it off to you. If this game gets played, thoughts on Bucks Raiders?
Yeah, if it gets played, I mean, God, yeah, like you guys said, so many great storylines. It'll be really fun to watch. I think the Bucks offense is just going to be able to, put up too many points for the Raiders defense to overcome. I mean, from what I understand in terms of the COVID situation, Jonathan Abrams is definitely out, and he was in like close proximity with someone who had it. And then with the offensive linemen, I'm not so sure that they're definitely ruled out for this game yet, because I think that it was some weird situation where they were near somebody else who was near someone who had it. It was something like that. So I think that there is a good chance that this game will be played. Those 4 offensive linemen will be able to play for it. But I just don't think that, the Raiders offense is going to be able to keep up with that Bucks defense, or that their offense will be able to, or that their defense will be able to stop the Buccaneers offense. So, yeah, I think the Bucks win this and win it pretty easily, although I do like the Raiders in the second half of the season as well.
Yeah, you guys all nailed it. I'm going with the Bucks too if they play. I just think that their defense is just too good, and their offense is starting to click a little bit. We need a little bit more consistent out of their clicks. I mean, they did great against the Chargers, then they stunk against the Bears, then they did great last week. So really need the offense to step up consistently, which I think they can do. So we're all going with the Bucks if they play. Now we're going to the game of the 4:00 slate. San Francisco 49ers going to the New England Patriots. We don't have that. Tom Brady grew up in the San Fran area. We don't have that storyline anymore. Now we got Cam Newton going up against the 49ers. Joey D, we'll kick it off with you first. Thoughts on who you got in 49ers Patriots? Patriots 2.5-point home favorite, over under 45.5.
Yeah, I think that both of these teams are, going to come out firing. I think it's going to be a close game down to the very end. But, I mean, the Patriots got embarrassed last week on the offensive side of the ball, really weren't able to get anything going. If they're playing a fully healthy 49ers defense, I would be a little bit more concerned about their ability to move the ball on offense. But I think this week they're going to be able to get it together. They're going to come out angry. They're going to put up some points. Cam Newton's going to make a lot of plays. I think they're going to get James White even more involved. I mean, we've been seeing him start to get a little bit more involvement over the past few weeks. I think that's going to continue to go up. The 49ers offense, the one thing that they're really good at is just scheming, these screens, these quick passes behind the line of scrimmage, and yards after the catch. I don't think they're going to be able to do that against the Patriots defense. I mean, this defense is too disciplined. They meet all of their responsibilities. Stephon Gilmore is probably going to cover George Kittle a lot of this game. I don't see the 49ers offense being able to put up many points against the defense. And I think the Patriots win this pretty easily.
All right. James, what about yourself? What are your thoughts on who you got in 49ers Patriots?
I'm going exact opposite of my man Joey D right now. I got this Kyle Shanahan revenge game. This man remembers what Bill Belichick did to him in that Super Bowl a couple of years back. And the fact that New England was my lock of the week last week, so I could be, there could be, the wound is still a little open, all right? The wound is still a little open. But New England is not the same team. They don't have the weapons on offense, and they don't have the personnel that they had on defense. San Fran needs to kind of get rolling. They need to keep winning because they have the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals, which, they're the Katy Perry team of the NFL, hot and cold, baby. But I got San Fran here. I do think it's going to be, like you said, Joe, a lower scoring game. I do think they are going to struggle to put up points. I think there's going to be one or two big plays that, that Kyle Shanahan has in the back of his pocket that produce touchdowns for him. It's going to be enough. I got this as like a 24-20 game. San Fran.
Yeah, I think I'm going with James on this. I'm going with the 49ers. It's very tough for me to pick against Bill Belichick and what he can do to coach up the defense. But the
Especially
49ers,
in October.
yeah, but the 49ers have Kittle. They now have Debo Samuel, who's back at it. They got Mostert, so they have some other weapons if Kittle were to be shut down by Gilmore, or if Debo Samuel were to be shut down by Gilmore. So the 49ers do have the weapons. I like what they are doing defensively, especially against the Rams last week. They really held them intact. The Patriots offense, is also kind of like Katy Perry, hot and cold. We've seen them, do just enough. We've seen them put up 30 points, and then we saw them really struggle against the Broncos defense. I think the 49ers defense is going to do similar to what Big Fangio did last week. I see the 49ers squeaking out this win. I'm with both of you guys. I think this is a low-scoring game. I'm going to go with like a 20-17, maybe a last-second field goal from Robbie Gould, but I'm riding with the 49ers. And that'll do it for the 4 o'clock slate. Now the game that got moved to Sunday Night Football, we got the third and final undefeated team. If they win, they'll be one of the two, assuming the Steelers and Titans don't tie. But we got Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks, a 3-point road favorite at the Arizona Cardinals, over under 55.5. The Cardinals, we all saw what they did last week against the Cowboys, but we've seen what they've done against, some other teams and some of their losses. So, Joey D, my question for you is, what are you seeing from this game and who you got? Can the Cardinals do it? Or I can't pick against Russell Wilson. I'm going with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray are two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I mean, at least the level that they're playing at it. Russell Wilson's been doing this for a long time, and he's playing at a higher level than anybody. I mean, he's getting the ball to DK Metcalf. He's getting the ball to Tyler Lockett, using all of his tight ends. Not turning the ball over. Kyler Murray is turning the ball over a good bit. That's a little bit more of the difference, I think, and what we're going to see in this game. I think we're going to see another clean game by Russell Wilson and an exciting game by Kyler Murray, but a couple turnovers in there that are going to be able to make the difference. And the Seahawks are going to be able to just put up a lot of points in this game. It's going to be close. Well, it's going to be an exciting game, and the points might be close. But I think that the Seahawks are going to be able to handle this game pretty easily.
Yeah, this over is going to hit with ease. James, I know your eyes are probably glistening right now to talk about the over. So what are your thoughts on this game and who you got?
Yeah, so, like I said, Cardinals are the Katy Perry of the NFL. They're hot as hell one week, and then all of a sudden ice cold the next. It's nice that they got to play, two absolute garbage teams in the Jets and the Cowboys to kind of get themselves back on track. That's always nice. Betting statistic for this game, 7 of the last 8 games between these two teams have been decided by 3 points or less.
Ooh.
The road team in these games are off.
Think.
They are – I wrote it down somewhere here. But the road teams do tremendously well in these matchups as far as winning goes.
Mm-hmm.
But the teams, I'm pretty sure, are 0-7-1 in covering. The favorites are 0-7-1 in covering. These games are always close matchups. If I'm a bettor, I'm staying away from this game. Unlike you, though, Tim, I'm not betting against Russ. Russ is cooking. They're letting Russ cook. Let that man saute up some Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I believe the Cardinals went into Seattle last year and won, so this is going to be an exciting game. But you're not going to bet against Russell Wilson. You're especially not going to bet against Russell Wilson coming off a bye. 2 weeks to prepare for this team now on Sunday Night Football, so we're on the Seahawks. Now moving to Monday Night Football, unfortunately, we only have one game for now on the schedule, and it's interesting matchup. I'll say that. We got the Chicago Bears and Nick Foles going to the Los Angeles Rams. I believe this is the first week where both the Chargers and Rams are home in the same weekend. Rams are a 5.5-point favorite. Over/under is 45.5. James, we'll kick it off to you. What are your thoughts and who you got in Bears-Rams Monday Night Football? Yeah.
Is this the week we find out the Bears are actually for real? Or is this the week we find out they're pretenders? Because I really do think that the Rams are a very good gauge of that. I think the Rams are a solid football team. I don't think they're one of the top tier in the NFC, but I think they're a team that compares pretty well to where the Bears are at, which is about should be a 3-2 football team instead of a 5-1 football team, in my opinion. But the Bears in each of the last couple weeks have surprised me. So this week, I'm done picking against the Bears. I'm rolling with big, you-know-what, Nick. And I'm rolling with Chicago. And I think they're going to be able to do just enough. I think their O-line has held up pretty well. Obviously, when you go up against Aaron Donald, that dude can take over a game at any point in time. But I think they're going to be able to get the job done this week going into L.A.
Yeah,
also, look good, feel good. The Rams' new jerseys are trash.
I kind of like them, but I'm with you. I started picking the Bears early. I picked them 2.5 against the Lions. I picked them 2.5 again against the Giants. So I've been picking the Bears, but you nailed it. This is the great, contender, pretender. If they win, I think people will think of them as a more legit team. I think the Rams are a good gauge. I think the Bears are very similar to the 49ers. So I do see the defense really stopping the Rams like the 49ers did last week. My big thing is I can't trust, Nick Foles yet. I've picked him a couple of times, but, and they're winning. But I don't know. I can't see enough from this Bears offense yet. So I'm going with the Rams. I know Nick Foles is weighted down a little bit. I'm going with the Rams in this one. I think this is going to be I don't want to say ugly game, but this is going to be a slugfest. We'll say that. It's going to be a defensive struggle, offensive struggle. Defenses are going to play well. I think the Rams do squeak it out just because of the home field advantage of being the home team. Joey D, thoughts on who you got in Bears-Rams?
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. It's going to be ugly. The Bears defense has been overachieving and, balling out at the highest level right now. So, I'm not as high on the Rams offense as a lot of people are. So I really think that the Bears defense is going to be able to keep that Rams offense contained. But on the flip side, I think we're going to see pretty much the same thing. I don't like the Bears offense very much. I think they're playing, they're not playing that great, but they're also not really getting exposed by the mistakes that they're making. I think that this game we could see, Aaron Donald take over again, and some turnovers in this game have just a little bit more of an impact. And I think Nick Foles is going to turn the ball over more than Jared Goff is in this game. I think it's going to be a close one, low-scoring game, but the Bears are going to squeak it out.
All right.
I'm sorry. I said the Bears. I meant the Rams.
Joe, you're making me scratch out Bears and
my bad.
Rams. How dare you? All right, well, that wraps it up for Week 7 of the NFL season. We got 14 games. Joe and I are already 1-0. James is 0-1. So, James, 9-5. Can you break the 9-5 curse? But thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll give it to you. Any final thoughts, before we end the episode?
Man, I'm happy that the NFL has been able to kind of come up with ways to get around this whole COVID situation, to continue bringing us football. I know for me, it helps me get through my weeks, and it's just it's necessary at this point, especially with the world we're living in. So it's just kudos to the NFL for being able to be adaptable in this situation where in other situations they're not adaptable. So very lucky for that, and thank you, gentlemen, for having me on. I look forward to being your first 10-game winner.
Absolutely, and we'll definitely have you back on. If you want to be like James, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment your pick. It could be straight up, could be spread, could be over, could be under. Hopefully not an under. Maybe we won't have you on if you pick an under. But Joey D, any final thoughts for you heading into Week 7?
I think you guys both, pretty much nailed it. It's, very, very thankful that we have football still, even with everything going on right now. Felt bad that, I spent a lot of time watching the Eagles game on Thursday night. I'm sure James did too, but, there was a debate going on. So I thought that was kind of funny. People had to choose between the presidential debate and the Eagles-Giants toilet bowl. So, glad that, we're able to keep it entertaining. And, at least I would hope most people didn't watch the first half. But, real glad James was able to be on. Looking forward to having you back on, buddy. Sorry we had to kick your ass and crush your dreams, but but Evan Ingram, baby,
by 1 point.
got me a couple garbage points, but we were in control of that game the whole time. There was never a doubt. Super Bowl run is back on.
No, it's not. Our-
Joe's getting that good stuff down in South Carolina, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully our picks do well. Hopefully we all are winners. Tune into our midweek episode where we recap the week, and then hopefully we can get a guest on for week 8, big matchup, Steelers-Ravens. Let's go. I'm pumped. Ravens are on a bye, so I got plenty of other football to watch. But thank you guys so much, and everybody have a great day. Peace.